Let's talk about the strike. Now, members of the three teacher unions, the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, and the Coalition of Concerned Teachers, CCT, as you know, have been on strike. Well, this afternoon, we're learning that they're locked in a meeting with the Labour Commission with the aim of getting the matter resolved once and for all. The Ashanti Region chapter of the Ghana National Association of Teachers says that's arranged for some teachers to take care of the children who report for school amid the teacher strike. NAT joined two other teachers associations to withdraw their services effective yesterday over unpaid salary arrears. Checks in the schools on the second day of the industrial action reveals that pupils at the basic level will still show up for classes. Ifwa Evans Chinwe will soon join me in the studio to share what she found on her rounds today here in the Greater Accra region. But in the Ashanti region, the branch of NAT says members cannot stop pupils from going to school since school managers and some teachers are unavailable to supervise them.
There hasn't been a total strike ever on earth. No strike has ever been total. Even when you look at the medical section, medical doctors can decide to go on strike and they will say that they will not receive any new case. But those on admission, they will attend to them. So we are also in the same category because we are in the service industry. So one, we have said we are not going to school. Not going to school, we have head teachers who are managers, and the Labour Act makes it clear that when you fall within the managerial section, you cannot do so because you are entrusted with certain properties and you have to go and ensure that they are in good condition. Our issue is that while we are on strike, there is the possibility that our demands could be met. So negotiations are still going on. While we do all these things, a skeletal staff could be at the workplaces to ensure that there is no distraction to the property over there. That is very important. So our emphasis is not to shift the post. We are saying we are on strike based on 1, 2, 3, 4, the issues assigned by the Ghana Education Service. So when those things are met, we will go back. So we feel that over the weekends, parents were aware. Everybody knew that what was going to happen. Yesterday, we started it and told the world that due to what has happened, this is what we are doing. So still, some of the children, for the love of going to school, and some parents also feel that when the children go to school, they have enough time to do whatever they want to do. So for those parents, they wouldn't care whether the child is going, if there is a teacher there or not. It shows the clear picture, the challenges that we are facing in public schools.
Ifwa Evans Chinwe joins me in the studio. She's been making rounds here in Accra on day 2 of that strike action. We want to see how is it affecting people on the ground? How is it biting actually? In the northern region, Ifwa, you're welcome, by the way. And Martina will join us in this conversation for today because in the northern region, the prefect of Zo Simley Girls Junior High School in that regional capital of Tamale have assumed the role of teachers as they begin supervising their juniors and colleagues following the strike action declared yesterday by their teachers. Some of the prefects who spoke to JoyNews said they conducted dictation for their juniors and ensured that they studied today. We'll be hearing from Martina Bugri, who has been interacting with them. Martina. Hello, Martina.
Yes, Gifty, I can.
Very well. Martina, do tell us what Lanza Baraka, who you've been interacting with, says.
She says that Baraka says that they have had to take the role of their teachers. So what they did was that when they got to school this morning, they ensured the students cleaned the school compound, they held the regular assembly, and they did the supervision. And then they ensured that the children went into their various classrooms, observed the silent hour. And when it was time for lessons to begin, they, the seniors, began to teach the juniors. So they had dictation for them. And then they also ensured that they went through their normal studies, revision, because they're supposed to begin, they are supposed to have begun the exams today. And so they went through the various classrooms to ensure that the students did their revision.
So here are prefects, and these people, they are, which level are they? Are they in this primary school?
It's a junior high
Junior high school. So these are JHS 3 students?
JHS3 students who were supervising the lower form.
Yesterday, when we spoke to our correspondent in the Northeast region, he indicated that the headmaster was on campus, even though the teachers weren't there. In this particular scenario, is there any teacher at all, or there is absolutely no teacher and the students have just taken it upon themselves to supervise junior ones?
They said the teachers came, but by the time the teachers came, they had already done what they were supposed to do, and they were in class. And so the teachers, she said 3 teachers came, but they only came around, sat for a while, and then they left. She said they have teacher trainees who are also in the school. So when they came, they decided to teach the Form 3s. And so one of the Form 3 classrooms said they had 4 teacher trainees teach them today.
Okay, hang on for me, Martina. I'll come back to you. Let's engage Ifua, who is here with us in the studio. Ifua, yesterday you were on the ground here in Accra, checking what's happening on the ground. Today you went back. What did you find?
Today's situation is not too different from yesterday's. The only difference is that most of these children did not go to school today. So I visited 5 of these schools, basic and junior, senior high schools. I first visited the St. Mary's RC Girls Basic School, where I noticed that most children did not go to school. I saw the assistant headmistress who told me that they didn't come to school because parents know that when they come to school, there are no teachers to supervise them. So there were a few teachers there, empty classrooms, empty desks that I spotted. The few teachers there are national service teachers who have taken over the classroom. So that's what's been happening. And then I went on to the St. Mary Senior High School, where national service personnel and NABCO workers are supervising the mock examinations of
Okay, so the mock examination is actually going on at St. Mary's.
At St. Mary's Senior High School, yes.
Okay.
So that's what's happening. And the rest, there are a few teachers there, but they are supervising the Form 1s and Form 2s. So the NABCO workers, national service personnel, you know, invigilate the, ensuring that the mock examinations, you know, goes on.
Goes on. Okay, let me come back to you, Martina. In the Northern Region, yesterday again, this conversation did come up that there is a problem of, you know, school enrollment, mostly in the northern parts of the country, also in other remote parts of the country. And that this problem actually seems to present to some parents who already don't want their children to go to school to actually keep them from school. Ifwa is reporting here in Accra that some of them, some of the classrooms were empty because the students know that the teachers are not coming anyway, so they didn't show up. What's the situation, or what's the story where you are?
We have similar situations. The Lamashevu cluster of schools, most of them did not come. Some didn't. Some of the schools didn't even open up for school today, and so you find some of them. When I was coming, I met some school children. I saw one carrying vegetables. So I asked why she's not in school today. She said it's a holiday, and so the mom asked her to go and sell. And I've seen others who are just roaming around. They are not doing anything. Already, yes, some parents do not want their children to go to school, and so it's just an advantage for them to keep them in the house and let them help them.
Do these parents themselves know about the strike, or, I mean, is it a conversation that parents are having where you are about the strike?
They are aware their strike action has begun, and some are taking advantage of it, but some also think that government should come in because the children are not, some will leave the house, they would go to school and just hang around, not do anything and come back. And so they think that it is about time government listens to them, and then they go back to school so that they can finish the term, and then the students can come on holidays fully.
Okay. Do we have any response at all from any authority in your region or any school authority, anything at all like that?
Yesterday we spoke to the chairman of the Concerned Teachers Association, and he says that they would not do anything until their leaders in Accra say go back to school. If they don't tell them to go back, they are not going back.
So they're waiting on the leadership of the teacher unions to tell them what to do, essentially.
What to do, yes.
And
until they get a response from them, they would not go back.
And until that, they will not go back. Martina, thank you very much for that update. We'll keep an eye on that. So that's day 2 of the strike action by 3 teacher unions here in Ghana. It's already beginning to bite. Some students or some parents are not even taking their children to school. And already in the northern part of the country where a school enrollment is a problem, this seems to be aggravating the problem. Let me wrap up with you, Ifwa, on what else you found on the ground.
Yeah, one interesting thing before I go, at the Kolegono RC Boys Basic School, this is a boys' school, basic school, the teachers were present, but they refused to teach. So they were there just to ensure orderliness. You know how rowdy boys can get sometimes. So they are there to ensure that they don't get out of the school, or so they are just there to ensure that there's order amongst them. So they were seen just, you know, loitering the compounds, playing and all that. Yeah. So the teachers were present, but they refused to teach.
Teachers present, refusing to teach, teachers absent. And I mean, those are two scenarios that we're familiar with from yesterday. But today, the latest scenario we're adding to this is that the classrooms are also gradually becoming empty because the students or the pupils are also not coming to school at all. Thank you very much. Evans Chinwe made rounds here in Accra. We also spoke to Martina Bugri, who made rounds in the northern region. We also brought you the Ashanti region perspective. And they are saying that they cannot stop the pupils from going to school since the managers and the teachers are available to supervise them, which is also one of the scenarios in this particular case. As I said, we've been told that there's a meeting ongoing among these teacher unions to try and resolve this matter as they call on government's attention.